Hi everybody, it's Hannah. I'm one of the founding members of Dream Bakes and we make gourmet, unique cakes, desserts and treats with a little bit of a different twist and a bold aesthetic to them. And I'm continuing my thoughts that I had yesterday about the Cosmopolitan Self Made Summit. I did have to go through it quite quickly because I didn't realise how little space I had on my memory card. So I'm just going to sort of pull a few points out that I made yesterday and just kind of explain them in a bit more detail. So if you've not seen that video, then there'll be a link in the bar below and there'll also be a link at the end of the video. So go and have a look. It gives sort of an overview of the day, my thoughts, my impressions, things that could be made better, and things that were just really inspiring. So go and check that out if you haven't. Otherwise, I'm going to sort of start going into it in a bit more detail now. So the things that I thought were really good about the summit, it brought together so many different people from different walks of life, like not just the attendees but the speakers as well. And there was a bit more of a skew on kind of people who have been made famous online or through their sort of social media efforts, which, yeah, I mean that is very important nowadays, and a lot of the younger people that were there, like they'll be the main market for pretty much all of the social media that's being put out. But I would have preferred to have seen some sort of more established businesswomen, and I know that one lady couldn't attend. I think she was maybe the person behind Wonder Bra or something like that. I think that's what I heard. But yeah, people who've sort of made an actual like living, growing business. And I'm not sort of saying that what the people do who have made a living for themselves online, I'm not saying that's not a business, because I know that there's so many hours and months and years of effort that's sort of gone into everything that they've done. I'm completely not bashing that, but it would have been interesting for me, because I've got like a physical business, for people to have been sort of more in line with what I do. Obviously this is just my view. Yeah, I mean there was sort of a focus on it was more like a show and tell with the celebrities, if you know what I mean. So they were spelling out their story from A to B, how they started and where they've ended up and what they're doing now, which is great, and it's really, really interesting. But in terms of it being sort of instructional and helpful for myself, I didn't think it was massively helpful. As I said in my previous video, I'm sure that there were people who sort of took things away from it that I didn't. So this is just my opinion. But yeah, if there was some sort of guidance, say they said, oh well, I found it helpful to go to this website, or to set up I don't know, set up my website hosting on this website, or here's where you can go for budgeting and marketing, and that's how you get the ball rolling with things like that. If there had been more of that would have been really interesting for me. And what I thought, because as I said again in the other video, there weren't actually that many entrepreneurs, so I'm probably speaking in the minority here, but what I think would be a great add-on to the day is maybe have like some workshops specifically for people who are already entrepreneurs, already in business, and they've maybe been going 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever, and to have like dedicated time for them, because when you are sort of dealing with your business day after day after day, it can get a bit much sometimes, and you can get a bit apathetic and think to yourself, oh, do I really need to go to this networking? Do I really need to keep pushing on with that? Can I take my foot off the pedal a bit? So to have some sessions that would kind of like reignite the spark and the passion for people who are already in business, I think that would be a great addition to the entire day. I think that'd be really good. And also maybe, like, I don't want to kind of segregate things, but maybe a little bit of time for people who have been in business to just sort of network with each other and you know, because we have had these experiences, and these failures, successes, whatever, we can sort of guide each other. And you know, I might have a question about accounting, for example, and somebody could answer that really, really easily, and somebody might say to me, oh, well, how did you do this, this and this, and then I could help them out there. So I think that would be really useful if they do it again. And I thought, another positive point, I thought the day was really well structured. It was sort of, when you saw the plan, it was kind of like, be here at this time, then there's this, then there's this, then there's this. And I thought it would be really kind of rigid and a bit kind of school-like or something like that. But it was actually really good. There was good atmosphere. It didn't feel stiff. It all felt as though it flowed quite naturally, which was good. And again, like, the networking was a really strong part. It was just like the sheer energy that was in the room was, it was really, really cool to see. And you know, whether people sort of had found their passion, whether they were looking for it, it was just like a great energy that you could, like, it was palpable in the room. And it was just so cool to see these people with sort of such drive behind them, and like taking interest in their futures and stuff. And I think, like, again, this is just putting the cart before the horse and everything, but I don't know whether this would be a useful thing to kind of roll out to, say, schools on a much smaller level, whether by Cosmo or and Very, or by some other organisation. Something like this to go into schools, because I've said to people that I've come across before that when I was at school, like, working for yourself, setting up your own business, it wasn't an option. It wasn't an option that was ever discussed. I mean, I was quite an academic person, so I was always sort of steered towards university, I guess. And if I hadn't sort of gone through the path that I did, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. But if there were some sort of course or like little workshop that could happen for schools, I'm sure that would really fire some people up and sort of get them thinking a bit differently about the future. And there were some young people there, some very, like, I heard somebody saying that there was like a 14-year-old, 15, 18. So, you know, like, they are wanting to do things with the future, but, you know, I don't know how much is out there at the moment. Obviously, like, I don't have children that age, so or children at all, but yeah. I don't know anybody that age who would be able to give me information about that. So if there is some workshop out there, then, you know, go to one of them. I think it would be a really good idea. What else did I think? The points that I was making yesterday, and as I say, like, I went through them very, very quickly, so I'm just going to sort of elaborate on them a bit more. So the things that I kind of teased out of the day, and as I say, like, it didn't feel that kind of educational for me, but then, like, as I say, I'm already in business, so maybe it wasn't technically geared for me, but the things that I've sort of teased out as most useful from what people were saying, I've sort of summed them up into 5 areas, really. So number 1 is authenticity, and that is basically, like, it's very, very glib, but be true to yourself. People can create sort of public personas, but at what point does that kind of trip you up? What point does that become an entirely different person from you? I just think it's easier to sort of do things that you like, that you're interested in, that really make you passionate, and it comes across in your brand. Like, somebody was saying, I can't remember who it was that was saying, but it becomes very obvious if you're just sort of doing something to sell a product rather than you're actually interested in it. And I'm sure you've seen it online, like, a lot of YouTubers do make money through adverts, which is fair enough. Like, you know, I would do it as well. Obviously, I'm a very small channel at the moment, so you know, I'll keep you posted on that. But yeah, so they make money on adverts and things, and you can definitely tell a difference where, you know, the person's sort of really interested and engaged with the product and would sort of use it themselves, versus an advert where it's just kind of shoehorned in and is done for the sake of the money, really. Like, you can tell the difference. And that really turns the audience off, and it makes them kind of question the other things that you do as well. So if you can kind of be and this doesn't just apply to YouTube, by the way, like, have a sort of strong voice that is similar to yours on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Like, post things that you would find interesting, that you want people to know about you, and just keep it all sort of very tuned into your passions. So number 2 is tenacity, and it was Catherine Ryan, which she's sort of most touched on this. And by the way, I didn't say in the last video, but her outfit was amazing. Like, it was so good, and I really, really want it. Ugh. Anyway, so tenacity. You basically, there are people out there who are more talented than you. They'll be you know, they'll be prettier than you. They'll be smarter than you. They'll be more talented, thinner, like stronger, whatever. There will be people out there who, you know, like, are better than you sometimes, but you just have to keep being tenacious and working for what you want. Like, because what you want, you're your own person. You don't have to follow the same path as anybody else. You can choose anything you want in the world to go for, and that's what makes you different from other people. Like, you know, I make cakes. How many people make cakes in the world? But it's the way that we do them, the personality that comes across, and that's what makes it special, really. And you just have to keep trusting that somebody will recognise you for what you do and how you do it. And it does kind of feel, I've had this myself, like, it feels like you're shouting into the void sometimes, and it is frustrating. But if you just keep going and going and going, like, people will take notice of you. And I'm not saying you're going to be famous, you're going to have all the success, because a lot of it is still, there is still an element of luck. But just keep plugging away at it, and honestly, like, you will reap dividends. So number 3, consistency, which kind of links into the previous one, really. So and the consistency also works in with the authenticity, because if you're consistent in your tone, you know, then you will be more authentic to the people that are looking at you and seeing what you do. Number 4 is community. That's a big one. That is a very, very big one. And it's online and offline, like every single person that you meet. At the end of the day, people just want to feel like they're being heard. They want to feel recognised and special, and that you know that they're there, and you're not just like the next person on the conveyor belt, sort of thing. And that's where small businesses really come into their own, because you can offer such a personalised, tailored service like we do. For example, like, people can go to Asda, you know, they can buy a chocolate cake, they can go to Marks and Spencer's, they can buy a Colin. But if you want something truly unique to you, like, you need to go to a small business, and small businesses rely on relationships. Like, you need to foster that sense of community. And like, I know pretty much every single person that we've worked with, and it's awesome. Like, they're all such different people, and it's been a pleasure to work with every single one of them. And if you kind of take that over into social media, and you sort of carry on that train of that way of thinking, that they're not just somebody hiding behind a keyboard, that they are sort of real, they've got a personality, and they're trying to get it out there. If you sort of take time and, you know, instead of just like liking someone's photo, say, you make a comment like, I don't know, oh, that shot's really cool, looking forward to seeing more, or something. that makes the person feel so much better about themselves, and then they're more likely to kind of take an interest in what you do and then maybe follow you back, and that sort of grows your following as well. And then the final one is sustainability. So basically all these 4 points kind of combine to make your brand more sustainable. So basically if you want to sort of work as a brand, like, you can't be a flash in the pan, you have to keep sort of building on your success. And if, like, you need to sort of keep growing and keep having all this success, and it's only going to happen if you sort of take into account all these 4 points that I mentioned. And I can tell that my doorbell's going to ring, which is why I'm getting a bit antsy. But yeah, success isn't measured by views or clicks either. Views, clicks, or money. Like, it's in terms of your sort of personal happiness. And I think that's what's most important. You've got to sort of do what makes you happy, makes you passionate, makes you want to get out of bed in the morning. And that the conference yesterday really helped, actually. So again, as I say, it was so good. The conference was amazing. If you get the chance to do it, definitely go. Alright, subscribe if you like the video. Thank you, bye!